Welcome to my allotment in East Sussex for the 4th week of October. Sunday not a great deal happened on the plot, but news had got around the village that I had been adopted by a feral cat, and as a number of people do lose their cats, and hope one is found, and it is their long lost friend, I had a visit. But it turned out Grebo was not their long lost cat. So there you go. While waiting for the visit, I occupy myself with hoeing bed 14, while Grebo, he went off and killed a rat. A problem for the allotment occurs when a dry day follows a number of wet days, in that jobs at home also build up which have priority, such as cutting the grass, and this task was promptly executed as there was household washing to carry out, and tomorrow was forecast to be warm, sunny, with a slight wind. In other words, perfect drying weather. Next Tuesday morning started with a mist, which the weatherman predicted would burn itself out to receive a bright sunny day, which it did, but not till lunchtime. My wife and I had some tasks to carry out elsewhere. The task I managed to do on the plot was to clear bed 1 of the spent bean stalks for composting. The washing was loaded into the machine on our returning home and was hung out to dry. I received an email from Marshall's informing me the strawberries I had ordered earlier in the year could be expected tomorrow. Therefore Wednesday, another good weather day, was organised to prep the new strawberry bed and plant the bare root plants arriving in the post. This took me all morning, starting with placing compost into the reserved areas, forming a mound, during which I was visited then by another plot holder who was bearing packets of cat food for you know who. Fabric was rolled out, pegged in position, cut to size, inspected by the plot foreman, and while I went off for lunch, a cat stood guard. In the haste to get back and finish the preparation, I forgot to bring the camera. But with the exception of actually planting the plants through the fabric, it was a repeat of this morning's video, and I only just beat the onslaught of rain. Boy, did it not rain. Rain was again forecast as yesterday, only it came at 11 AM. And as it is Friday, it's Hoedown day, and I managed to hoe 3 beds before the heavens opened. The plan this morning was to sow some peas, variety meteor, in the soil blockers, to which I did. Unfortunately, the memory card in the camera became full. What happens is a day's shots are taken home, transferred to a hard disk and deleted from the camera, but they are not deleted from the memory card. The card has a large memory, which I'm not sure is an advantage, as when it fills up, it's always unexpected, and today I only had sufficient memory to take a shot of raking bed 5 before I got the message. Incidentally, after all the rain we have had this month, you could only carry out this operation on a no-dig raised bed. All the dug plots are in limbo. Now there's a topical phrase. Waiting for the ground to dry out. Taking the camera home, the card was cleared and I returned and staged a reshoot to illustrate what I did. It's very similar to last week's upload on sowing the onion sets, but there is just a slight difference. The difference being, I soil blocked the smaller blocks, which are an identical size to the depressions formed in the larger blocks, to which I used to cover the sown seeds. I have a sort of a shout out for Terry King's latest upload. I'm sure you have probably already viewed it, but if not, go to it after finishing watching this upload, of course. Terry is rearranging his beds and he is mulling over his path widths, but what struck me with Terry's drawing was its similarity to my arrangement. My allotment is approaching its completion, and in hindsight I would, if I could, employ some changes. A criticism of raised beds is the amount of ground lost due to paths, and it's too great to justify their use. Now this is true, but it's outweighed by the advantages. One advantage was demonstrated in this video, in that one can work on the plot much sooner after heavy rain. Therefore the optimum width of a bed is 2 feet, which is the width of a barrow. Any less and the barrow would overhang into the bed, which interferes with the plants. Any wider and it takes away valuable growing area. So what would I change? Well, I have difficulty in turning corners with a loaded barrow. My solution would be to stagger the bays, creating a turning circle. I've already inserted gates at the beginning of the paths into the boundary perimeter fence. This is where I originally thought I should put the gates, and I've made space for it, but the water barrel will have to be moved to a better position, or a more convenient position. Moving on up, this is the gate which I am using as the main entrance, and a shot taken in August, taking a barrow load through. Though not perfect, but it is better than the original gate, and I can turn right going backwards or left moving forwards into a 1 metre wide path, but staggered beds would be an advantage. Again, moving on up, I've inserted a gate entrance at the top of the middle row of beds, and this path is also 1 metre wide, resulting not by measuring but by alignment where the corner of the plot actually is. What it demonstrates is there is room to stagger the beds. That brings us to the end of another wet week. England did well beating New Zealand. Let's hope we meet Wales in the final. Please do like, share and comment on this video. And please subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell to get an alert every single time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching and take care. Bye.